Sometimes I'm so amazed that God's line of thought go along with mine and Danny's this morning as he talked about wisdom and Proverbs and Solomon. This is what I was doing this week as I did my little write-up. I thought about these things. So, how long has it been since you sat down and read the book of Proverbs? You think, are you kidding? Read it just for pleasure. This last week or two, during those 114-degree days, I needed a breath of fresh air, something cool. So I turned to the book of Proverbs. Well, I found it in my Good News Bible, you know, the one for simple-minded people like me. Enjoy it. And for almost an hour, I read the verses written so many years ago that have so many truths for us in our present day. Just to refresh our minds, we know that God was visiting with Solomon, the son of King David of the Old Testament. Solomon was soon to become the new king, and God had told him he could have whatever he wanted to set up his kingdom. He could have riches, he could have land, power, good leaders, anything he wanted. And Solomon asked for wisdom, W-I-S-D-O-M. And the result was the book of Proverbs. The time period was 1970 to 1930 BC. And it is simply a collection of practical tips for living as truthful today as in Solomon's time. So many times in that book you will find the ending of verses says, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The first time it appears in chapter 1, verse 7. And quite a few times throughout the book you will find these words. The dictionary gives us 3 words to explain the works of the mind. I spent about an hour trying to spell these words enough to even look them up in the dictionary. It was really a time of searching. Can you spell psychiatry, psychology, philosophy? So you know how to look it up in the dictionary. Well, I spent some time, but I finally found all of them. The dictionary gives us these 3 words to explain the works of our mind. Psychiatry is the mind dealing with mental disorders. You know, people that need a psychiatrist. Psychology is a science that deals with the functions of the mind, its behavior, the subconscious, what we think when we're not even aware of it. And then we have philosophy. We have the wise philosopher Solomon, a thinker who meets the difficulties serenely and with intelligence, looks at the law of reality. Hello, Solomon. That was his wisdom. This book has 31 chapters, everywhere a lesson of its own. One of the coolest that I found was in chapter 29, verse 25. Read it yourself if you want to just get a chuckle. It is dangerous to be concerned with what others think of you, but if you trust the Lord, you will be safe. In Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. The Proverbs speak to issues such as work, money, temptations, discipline, child rearing. And Proverbs 14:7 says, stay away from foolish people. They have nothing to teach you. We could read that one several times, couldn't we? Well, I must end somewhere. We could read Proverbs for hours and get a lesson every time. Solomon, the man of wisdom, says, apart from God, life is empty and unsatisfying. My word of wisdom, life But our living God always understands and will never forsake us. Read Proverbs and find your blessing.